on, babe, you ready?
Yep.
These are the stories of 6 vacations
What is that? Oh my God! Ah!
that didn't go as planned.
Move it faster!
This was not going to end well.
True stories of UFO encounters.
The fear was so intense. Is this something we can't get out of now?
Actual video and audio recordings.
Come on, get back in the car, we're going, let's go.
It is painful. It made me scream.
Terrifying accounts of alien abductions.
I believe that they were taking eggs from your ovum.
The Allagash Wilderness Waterway, a 92-mile labyrinth of remote lakes and ponds hidden in the mountains of northern Maine. It's a rigorous trip for even the most seasoned of campers. But for Charlie Foltz, Chuck Rock, and brothers Jim and Jack Wiener, the daunting excursion is the adventure of a lifetime.
The Allagash is not an ordinary camping trip. It's very rigorous.
Would you look at that? Check that out, Charlie. That looks good, man.
This was my first really excursion into the wilderness.
I told you this was gonna be worth it.
There's nothing there except trees and water. That's what we wanted. That's what we were looking for.
The 4 art students from Boston are eager to get out of town.
We just wanted to do this trip because it was out in the wilderness. We figured we'd be out of the city for a while.
Who wants beer?
We just thought this was going to be a regular, fun, camping, fishing trip.
Great fire, Charlie.
Just 2 nights into their adventure, Chuck spots something strange in the night sky.
I had a feeling that something very unusual would happen on this trip. I called attention to this light.
And what is it, Chuck?
It had a kind of a reddish glow.
Is that Mars?
No, I don't think we can see Mars right now.
We didn't know what to think. We had no idea what it was. It wasn't making any sound, it wasn't moving, it was just there. We all looked at it, and then it was gone.
A few days later, the men are running low on food. They decide to take the canoe out to go night fishing. They build a fire to serve as a beacon to guide them back to the campsite.
We were going to be on the water maybe a couple of 3 hours, and we needed to build a fire that would burn that length of time.
Pretty good. There we go.
And so we started fishing, and we weren't catching anything. All we were getting was eaten alive by mosquitoes. So we were saying, okay, let's move to a different place, you know. So we moved a little further out into the lake.
The men are now several hundred yards from shore when Chuck is overcome by a strange feeling.
And I remember feeling that there was something observing us. It was like having somebody staring at you from behind. I turned my head to look over my right shoulder, and there was this object in the sky, and I could tell right away it was the same object we'd seen 2 nights previously. It was behaving in a very unconventional way.
What is that?
It was just hovering over the trees, just still as a stone. No sound whatsoever. And this thing was huge. It had to be as big in diameter as a tractor-trailer truck.
This was a shocking thing to look at. I knew right away it was a UFO.
Charlie decides to signal the object.
I thought, well, how will it respond if I shine a light at it? So I fired off a fast SOS.
I don't think that was such a good idea.
And the second he got done, this thing started moving right towards us. It was obviously reacting to Charlie's light.
Come on, let's get the hell out of here.
So we started paddling towards our campfire, which was a couple hundred yards away.
A beam of light came out of the bottom and it started coming across the water toward us. It looked like a gigantic glass straw, and you could see that it was transparent.
Let's go!
While I'm paddling with my hand, I'm looking over my shoulder at this thing steadily coming for us. I realized at that point that we weren't going to outrun it. It was going to get us.
I wasn't curious anymore. I was terrified. My only thought, I have to get to that campfire.
Move it faster!
While the others are frantic, Chuck is suddenly entranced by the light.
I wanted the experience to unfold naturally. I just wanted to have the object do whatever it was going to do.
Paddle fast! How the hell did we get back? How the hell did...
Suddenly, the men find themselves back on land at the campsite. They have no recollection of how they got there.
1 minute we're paddling, and the next thing I knew, we were standing on the beach.
And in front of us is this sphere.
I remember standing on the beach, staring at this thing, thinking, my God, I could hit this with a stone.
The sphere began to go away from us.
And everything just like went and disappeared.
The men notice that the campfire they expected to burn for hours is now a pile of embers.
Just a few minutes ago, it seemed like we were paddling towards this fire, and now it's almost out.
From that moment on, the mood shifts dramatically.
We didn't talk about this thing. We didn't talk about being chased across the lake. We didn't talk about what this thing might have been, where it might have come from.
Three years pass, and the four friends are no closer to making sense of their bizarre encounter. As artists, they begin illustrating what they can remember from that fateful night.
We go over it time and time and time again, but we never really get beyond the point of how'd the fire go out.
Eventually, memories from that evening begin to resurface in strange ways.
I started having nightmares, horrible, horrible nightmares of non-human things poking around on me and staring at my face.
For 12 years, Jack is haunted by flashes of memory and nightmares. He decides to undergo regressive hypnosis, a technique to help recover repressed memories. He wants to know once and for all what happened on that traumatizing night in the Allagash wilderness.
All of a sudden, there I was on the Allagash again. When we got to the point of the light coming, I remembered this beam. It completely surrounded the canoe, and it was like a wall of light that had these weird sparkles in it and like smoke.
The others agree to go under hypnosis, and in separate sessions with the therapist, 3 of the 4 men recall shockingly similar memories.
My first conscious memory under regression was looking at my toes and being puzzled, and then I realized that I was naked, lying on my back.
was just like being in a big, bright ball of light.
What are you doing?
And I couldn't move. I was paralyzed, but I could see.
They're poking, prodding me.
The hypnosis sessions reveal a disturbing scene where Jack, Jim, and Charlie are subjected to painful examinations.
They were terrifying. They had some purpose for me.
I was struggling to get up off the table. I felt my conscious mind being drawn into the consciousness of this being.
Jack realizes the nightmare is far from over.
This was not going to end well. I'm going to be dead soon. They're going to gut me like a trout.